Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whichever geography you are in. Today, we have got, I think it's one of the first or second video of this year. I'm really thankful to Miss Sharma, the famous Miss Deepika Sharma, head of the school, Max Food School, Dwarka, New Delhi. And she has taken up the school very nicely, and her advocacy for supporting students' careers is commendable. She has taken up so much of time and for the same, as it's a busy schedule because admissions, examinations, many things are happening. And I would also like to thank Mr. Nitin Sharma. Mr. Nitin is an overseas education expert. He has been associated with top universities of the world. Like currently, he's also seated with Tasmania University, and he runs Centaur AI. It's a very reputed student recruitment company from Delhi, Nehru Place. And I think he's the right person to give us the university perspective. And we have the most important person with us, the moderator, and he's a 12th grader from Delhi Public School, Bangalore East, which is the largest, one of the largest school of CBSE with more than 12,500 students. I've been to this school, it's huge. I think there are 150, more than 150 school buses that ply for DPS Bangalore East. Without much ado, I will request Abhay to take the conversation further. Over to you, Abhay.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's exciting session on EDU TV. I'm Abhay, a Class 12 student from DPS East Bangalore, and I'll be a host for this insightful discussion. In today's episode, we are thrilled to have Mr. Nitin, Director of Marketing at Centaur AI, who brings over a decade of experience in global education, speaking with Mrs. Deepika Sharma, the esteemed principal of Maxford School, Dwarka. Together, they'll be diving into some fascinating aspects of education and how innovative solutions are shaping the future of learning. EduTV India is dedicated to bringing you conversations that inspire and inform, helping students and educators connect in meaningful ways. Stay tuned as we explore fresh perspectives on education and the changing landscape of academia. Let's get started. Deepika ma'am, how should we prepare for universities? How would you suggest we prepare to get into our goal universities?
A very good afternoon to the eminent guests here, and a very good afternoon to the complete audiences who are hearing out to us. Now, this is a very important discussion that we are holding today, transition from high school to universities. First and foremost, it is important to make a decision which is informed decision. That means we must know what we have to pursue ahead. For that, the basic training starts from class 9th onwards. Now, it starts from understanding the interest and the right aptitude towards our interest. These are two key factors which need to be identified to further identify which college, which course, and which university should we land up to. Now, another important factor which comes into consideration over here is, because lots of discussions are happening on this, whether should we choose course over university or university over course. For this, I would rather want Nitin sir to speak a little more, because we'll take the discussion ahead with understanding what is to be looked into on a priority, because in school, we train our students to understand that courses are more important because that aligns to the right aptitude. Any university which is good, especially when we are looking at the QS rankings, when we are looking at the global universities, which matches the course of your aptitude, probably that is the best university we have to land into.
Thank you, ma'am. The fact of the matter is, I was actually writing down this point before we started the conversation here. That course is also important, but university's ranking is also important. And that's the basic question that we get a lot of times, that, sir, what should I actually be doing? So that really plays a major role, ma'am. I wanted to cover this up slightly later in the conversation, but you picked it up. So I think that's really very important for students to understand. And let's begin from this one. So when student is actually preparing, when you said, ma'am, that the student has to be preparing right from ninth standard, the opaque idea that they have in the mind, that idea is about, I want to go to top universities, I want to go to top countries, I want to do fancy things in my life. But as they narrow down the concept, as they try and get into what exactly they need, and ma'am, again, coming back on your point, I think study abroad is something which has to be a meaningful thing. Or probably finding out a university, let's leave study abroad apart. Even if you're finding out a university in India, the research has to be done pretty well, because your career is completely be lying upon your choices that you want to make right from ninth standard until the 12th standard. Whatever choice you make is going to land up you 3 years down the line or 4 years down the line. One is definitely university. Second is the course that you will be selecting. Now, at time, it happens that the university might not be very highly ranked. Yes, it is going to be a university, which is a good university, decent university. But that particular university is doing very fascinating work, magnificent alumni network in certain area. For that matter, if I just, because my background is Australia, if I can pick up university, there is a university in Australia that does extremely very well in agriculture.
Okay.
There is a university in Australia that does extremely very well in maritime. There's a particular institution in New Zealand that does extremely very well in IT. So that's where student has to understand that looking at the complete rank, one is the ranking system that a university has attained. It is not because of the particular course, but because of the research that that university has done so far. Big researchers in that university, they're not bothered, they're not, majority of the time, they're not bothered about what really happens with first year and second year students. They're completely busy in finalizing the research papers and gaining the grants from government, from corporate. The universities that focus upon particular program, that's where an emphasis is given on that particular subject, and student quality and alumni aspects matter over there. So when you're selecting this thing, yes, ranking is important, but do not be very much enticed by the whole ranking system. Think about what's going to happen with you when you enter in that particular program. Does that university has a hold? Where is that particular program ranked out there in the market? Not just the entire university, but how does that particular program ranks out in the market? How exactly they are connected in the industry, and is the curriculum inculcated with the industry aspects in that or not? So that's where a little bit of research work begins, ma'am. And thank you once again for touching out a very important point that student needs to understand. Anything else, Pranav sir, you want me to add over here?
Deepika ma'am, I think Nitin asked me to, if you have something to add it. What I think, as per my experience also, like in a class of 40, 50 students, majority of the students, I think 15 to 20 numbers plus, they are not exactly aware of the financials of the universities, waivers, scholarships, and they hesitate to speak to their parents about it, thinking it must be very expensive. Because I have seen my nephew has gone to study in Germany. He's doing biotech, UG, and he has got 100% fees waiver, ma'am. So a lot of people are not aware of that. So Nitin sir, if you can update
Right,
and the
right, right,
students,
right.
our audience, parents, principals about fees structure,
Mm, mm.
how expensive or economical it is. Over to you,
Right.
Nitin.
Thank you, Pranav. Thank you so very much for doing this. So this actually remains to be very important agenda when it comes to studying abroad, and this is a forward step when we think about making an application, thinking about your financials. So to leverage this, to make it very easy, what we have done on our portal is, it's an AI-driven portal. So you select the country and you select the program. On the very first page, our portal actually shows you the currency conversion rate and how much exactly it is going to cost you. Because this was a necessity, this came in from the principal side and the student side, that they wanted something that actually makes their job very, very easy. So we have done that already. Anybody who goes to Centre.ai portal, they will understand it. Now, coming on the real need of this, you're absolutely right that this remains to be as one of the aspect that has to be touched. And about studying abroad, students are still not aware about what really is a study abroad is and how exactly they can approach it. Financial education is important, yes, but then with the time and globalization, there has been so many new destinations out there for the students, where even if financials are concerned, he can still overcome that. Majority of the universities in countries like UK and Australia, they start with some scholarship. If the student is meeting a threshold of about 70 to 75%, so that's where they start with a scholarship of about 15 to 20%. It can go up to 25%, but we also have to be mindful that there are certain countries which are not scholarship friendly countries, and they want the students to come there and pay the fee because they want the student to be very much serious about his education or her education. Then other countries where you've got Germany, or probably where you've got Dubai as a country, or probably you've got Russia as a country, or South Korea and Japan as a country. These are the countries whose education is subsidized education. Germany, Russia, and South Korea are three countries, Pranav, where and ma'am, where the education is almost subsidized. 75% of subsidized education is there. So that is one education that a student has to be thinking about of receiving before they plan and make their application ahead. There are certain scholarship tests that a student can give for certain countries. There are certain countries that completely look at the academic performance of that particular student. So scholarship is completely based on that. Now, not just scholarships, there are so many banks and financial institutions out there in the market that support a student in terms of creating that.
Student loan, basically.
Yes, student loans basically, ma'am. So he can produce the assets that he has got. But then the idea over here is to make study abroad available for everyone.
Now, here I believe, sir, can I add on to this?
Certainly, ma'am, certainly.
A very, very important role is bringing parents into the picture. What happens, especially with the senior secondary students, the teachers, the school, they start working with the student. Now, student is nobody to decide. I mean, that aspect of finances has to be taken care of by parents. So it is very important that we keep the parents in the loop, and we are also talking to them constantly about what are the provisions and what are the benefits that can come in by in terms of finances, especially when we are talking about students studying on the global areas out here. So for that, I think when we are holding career fairs in school or career talk, it is important that we also apprise parents of the same. So we must invite parents, and we do. I mean, schools are now getting aware and they are bringing the parents into the loop strongly, because they are the ones who have to decide the finances. And if they understand the ease of transition, and finances do play a very important role, but how it can be taken care of, probably it will be easy for students to land into the right spaces that they have designed for themselves. So it is important that we bring the right people who are guiding the opportunities which can come to students in terms of scholarships, in terms of student loans, how it can be easy, especially the preparation of the portfolio, how you're preparing your SOP, the statement of purpose coming into it, the essay, your community services, how you're building that entire portfolio over these 4 years also develops the strategy of how you're eligible for scholarship to 100%, like sir was sharing. Germany does give, yes, you're very right, sir. So we must bring parents into the structure.
True, ma'am, and I think this is a good message for all the students out there who are still thinking that how am I going to be able to manage my finances? And I think the idea is to communicate well, communicate with your teachers and communicate with your parents and bring them into the picture. And I think this solves the problem that a lot of students out there faces, and they're juggling with the idea of whether to study abroad or in India or somewhere else. So thank you so much, ma'am, for covering this aspect. This actually is very, very meaningful point.
There's one more factor to it. I would like to mention that as well.
Yes, please.
Now, when we're talking about studying abroad, now it's not only studying. That's only one facet that we are talking about.
Oh, yes.
When a child leaves the home, and a child, we are talking about a student who is 17 to 18 years old, and they have to be there alone. They have to manage everything, the stay, the food, the laundry, the communication, your every personal aspect has to be taken care of. So the parents worry about it. Now, until and unless we show that complete roadmap to the parents or to the child that this is how things are going to be, this is where you're going to stay, this is how you're going to commute, the provisions which are available. So this whole picture has to be presented as a whole. So I think we are only covering how to study, where to study, the complete scenario, the temperature, the weather aspects, everything. It's a whole story. So we have to build it up in the wholesome manner.
110%, ma'am. You very nicely covered this point that it's not just study abroad, but it's also about transferring your life, transitioning into university and into a new country as well, where you will be understanding and being and you'll be a part of the different community, the community which is slightly different than our community. And I think this is also that's where now there are two kinds of students that we actually see when we sit in the career phase. One who are absolutely fresh, they've not traveled abroad, but then there are different kind of students who have actually traveled abroad in their vacations. They've gone and they've seen those universities, and they come back and say that I want to go to this particular university. But then we are still at a very learning stage where our country, our students have not really themselves traveled and seen those universities. So for them, this remains an important aspect and an area that has to be covered.
So
It is 100% it is, and this also opens up another communication channel, ma'am, where students still in the India we're focusing upon the traditional aspects, the traditional programs that we used to study, IT, engineering, and that's all about it. I think the modern agriculture technology is one of the program which is increasing. We've seen indoor farming increasing a lot with global warming and environment changes. This
especially
is
with
going to
the
be
SDG coming into picture.
yes. Sustainability is becoming one of the aspect. SIP programs are getting inculcated in the program, and government themselves. We've just conducted a sustainable conference in Ahmedabad. Ma'am, last year I was a part of it. I was speaking on one of the concept, but then this concept is still very new. The government is working upon it, but somehow it has not been communicated very well on the ground to the students who are going to be the future of this country. So if we can bring you as a teacher and we as the study abroad experts, if we can bring this into the system, I think we'll be making a cutthroat edge for the community here.
Keep watching Edu TV. It gives you a lot of value addition to launch you for success in your life. God bless.
Big thank you to Mr. Pranav. The journey with Mr. Pranav goes a long way, especially during the COVID times when he had just started. I'm so proud to know that, you're really taking very mega steps and you're doing very well for yourself. A big congratulations for that, and may you progress more.
Thank you so much, Captain Dr. Dinisha Bhardwaj Singh. Thank you so much. She had been helping us from last so many years. Thank you so much, ma'am. We are forever grateful to you. Thank you so much.
Hi, this is Captain Dr. Dinisha Bhardwaj Singh. Keep watching Edu TV to add value to your grooming and growing up.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Respected Pranav Guha Thakurta, founder of renowned Edu TV with over 1 million viewers in more than 48 countries.
Now I am with Ms. Aditi Mishra, the principal of Delhi Public School, Sector 45, Gurgaon. Ma'am, I would request you to please share some small feedback about the session.
Well, I'm very grateful to Edu TV and to Knowledge Confluence for providing this opportunity. I think it's a very special day when all the students of the school have managed to meet so many university representatives together. Otherwise, they would have had to go to each place or to go online to find out about them. But to have a face-to-face interaction and information collection, I think is fantastic. I really thankful to you all for providing this opportunity to my students.
Hi, this is Dr. Alka Kapoor, Principal at Modern Public School, Shalimar Bagh, Delhi, India. We were established in 1971 and have completed 54 years, and I have to still see a better channel on education than EDU TV. So Pranav and Tanya, keep doing good work, keep shining, and keep doing the best that you've always been doing.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Prashant Vasudev. I head Gulf Indian School, Kuwait in the capacity of principal. I am very happy to have come on EDU TV and have shared my valuable insights with them. Keep watching EDU TV, as I consider EDU TV to be a powerhouse of information which gets disseminated to the youth of today, which is very, very important for the nation overall to prosper.
Hi, I'm Dr. Usha Reddy, CEO of Meridian Group of Schools, and I would urge all of you to keep watching EDU TV.
The message that I have for EDU TV viewers is that keep watching the EDU TV. The education content that they come up with is unparalleled and is the best.
Our guest is Mr. Bhatt, Mr. Mahesh Bhatt. We request you to give a message to passing out 12th graders this year.
My suggestion is don't listen to any suggestions of anybody. Find your own voice, discover your own uniqueness, and that can only happen if you stop listening to other people's suggestions. Listen from their life experiences, what they have learned, but walk your own path. They cannot become a reference for you to make your future. Their life was different, their journey was different, their reality was different. You must be brave enough to create your own reality and work out your own career graph.
Hi, this is Teji Kishle. I'm a student in BPS East Bangalore, a 12th grader, and I would really like to invite you all to subscribe to EDU TV.